In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started with ipyleaflet. So in the previous videos, I already show you how to create a Python package and also how to deploy the package to PyPI so that anyone can install your package. But the package that we developed right now is just basically a prototype. It doesn't really have any real functionality. So our goal here is that we want to build up the package at the end to have something like the Gmap package. But in order to do that, we need to get to know some packages for geospatial analysis and interactive mapping first. And in this course, I'm just going to show you how to use ipyleaflet and to build a package like Gmap. So in order to do that, we're going to build on top of the package template that we created in the previous videos. So I already add examples, so you can go to the examples folder. You can download this notebook, or you can clone the entire GitHub repo. So I'm going to show you here how to use Git. So if you click this one, you can download as a zip file to download the entire repo to your computer, or you can also click the copy icon, and then you can come back to your computer. So you can open any folder you like. So for me, I'm just going to my documents folder, and then GitHub. You can put it anywhere you like. Right click and open Git Bash. If you don't know how to use Git, you can also follow my previous tutorial how to install Git and how to use GitHub. So once you have this terminal, and then all you need to just type git clone, and then you can right click paste because we already copied the Git URL earlier, and then just hit enter. It's automatically clone the entire GitHub repo to your computer. So this is the one we are using, right? And then from here, you should be able to see the examples folder. So this is the notebook example we are going to go through in this video. And so the next step is to actually open an Anaconda prompt. You can also use Git here. Either one is fine. So you can either do this, go to your start menu, and then open Anaconda prompt. Again, if you don't know how to use Anaconda, you can also watch my previous video how to install Conda and Miniconda. So once you open, then you can just use Conda activate, or you can create a new environment. So in this video, I'm just going to start from scratch. So show you how to create a new environment that you can run ipyleaflet. So all you need to do is just Conda create -n, and then we can choose a name. So for example, this is the name of the environment we're going to use. You can choose whatever name you like. I'm just going to call demo, and this is the name. So the next one will be the Python we're going to install because we are going to use Python. So you can just type Python. If you want a specific version, you can equal to, for example, 3.8 or 3.9, whatever you want. If you don't specify a version, it's going to create the latest, use the latest Python. So once you hit enter, it will show you what kind of packages you want to install, and then you just type Y or hit enter. It's only take a couple of seconds to download all the packages. Once you create the environment, then you can Conda activate and then the name of the environment, so demo. And once you get type this one, you will see here on the left side the parentheses indicates demo. So now we're right now inside this virtual environment, and then we can install some additional packages we want. So the next one here, what we want is to install ipyleaflet. So if you want, you can go to the, you can just type Google ipyleaflet, and you can click the first link. So what exactly is ipyleaflet? It's built on top of the leaflet library. So if you haven't heard about this, it's basically an open source JavaScript library used to build mapping applications. It's very popular. So the ipyleaflet is basically made available for you to use the library within Jupyter Notebook. So if you don't, even if you don't know JavaScript, you can still use it to create some cool mapping applications. So this is what we are trying to do here in this course. And once you activate environment, the next step is to do the installation. So you can go to the website and click the using, for example, pit or anaconda. So for example, this is the one that we're going to use, but conda sometimes is very slow, so we're going to install on additional packages to do that. So we are going to install Mamba. So what you need to do, conda install Mamba, and then -c. C means channel. So we're going to install this one from conda first. Okay, and then just hit enter. Again, it might take a couple seconds to resolve the dependency. Then just hit Y, hit enter. It should automatically install the Mamba. So Mamba is a kind of a drop-in replacement for Conda, much faster when you are resolving the dependencies. So highly recommend that you use this one. Conda install Mamba and then -c and then Conda first. After that, you can anywhere you want to use Conda, you can replace this one with Mamba, and everything else will be exactly the same. So it will make your life much easier. When you use the install, the package name can be put at the end, or you can put after install, and then this one put at the end. So the order doesn't really matter. So once we have Mamba, then we can use a Mamba install ipyleaflet and then -c conda first, hit enter. You see here it's trying to resolve all the dependencies, and conda sometimes take much longer. So it's basically getting stuck over there, don't know what to do. So for this one, much better. So and then just hit enter Y, hit enter. It's go online to download all the packages and then install that one to your computer. Once the pack is installed, then we can start Jupyter Notebook to start doing coding. So let's wait until it's finished. You can also do it from the Git base in here. So in here, you can also type conda command if you want, for example, conda, and then hit enter. It will also show you some of the conda command, conda env list, right? So you will see here right now we have a couple of environments that I created in the previous video, and similarly in here you can just conda activate demo. Oh, so this one is not right now set up to use. Anyway, we're going to skip this one and just use anaconda prompt, so it will be less confusing. So Git is primarily used to do Git clone, and or if you have a Git repository, you can also push that one to your local computer to the web. And if you don't know how to use that, you can also watch my previous video showing you how to use Git and GitHub, so that you can also use that with Visual Studio Code. So where is it? In somewhere, getting started with Visual Studio Code somewhere. Markdown Visual Studio Code, this one here. So you can look at this one. It's also has Git integrated, so you don't really need to remember those command lines. So it's much easier. Okay, so now the installation has completed, so we can start the Jupyter Notebook. All we need to do is just type Jupyter Notebook, hit enter. Then it's open the Jupyter Notebook within your browser. And so next we're going to navigate to the environment or the GitHub repository that we cloned earlier, documents, GitHubs, and get into Geo demo examples, and then ipyleaflet intro. So this is the example we're going to go through. Again, there are a lot more information here within the ipyleaflet documentation. You are welcome to go through this one by one. It's very easy to use. All you need to just click each one and then follow the examples, copy and paste, and then you should be able to run that one on your computer. In this video, I'm just going to show you some of the very basic things you can do with ipyleaflet. And you will see here the default settings might not be ideal for you. And so that's why we want to build a package that to basically can customize stuff without having to write a lot of lines of code. And we will do that in the next video. But for now, let's just get familiar with ipyleaflet. So very easy. All you need to do, if you want to create an interactive map and you need to import the library. So this is the most basic. For Python programming, there are lots of packages out there, and once you install the package, you need to import the package so they basically can utilize the functionality provided by that package, right? So after you import, for example, you hit Alt Enter on your keyboard, and then once you have that, you should be able to, for example, type ipyleaflet dot and then hit tab on your keyboard. You should be able to bring up the auto completion list, and this will show you some of the things you can do, what kind of functions or library or classes available within this package, right? So in here you see a long list, and what we want to do is to actually create a map. So if you type like dot and then if you type map uppercase, you will see here, right? You can select from the next one, and since this one is a class, anytime you want to create an instance from a class, then you need to have parentheses, because this is object-oriented programming. And so if you create based on a class, you create an instance, it becomes an object, and then just hit Alt Enter. You should be able to see the map here directly, right? And then you can zoom in, you can zoom out. By default, it's I think this created around the location 0 and 0. So it's not like ideal for you. I'm going to show you how to customize the location if you want. So this is directly create a map, but most of the time we don't do it in this way. We want to assign it to a variable so that we can manipulate the map, right? If you just type this one, it's just create a map, and you cannot reference to. So anytime when you create something, you want to save this one to a variable so that you can do something with that. Otherwise, it's not going to. Once it's created, it's there, and you can no longer make changes, right? So this is what we usually do. You can use the same thing, ipyleaflet.map, and then save it to a variable, and then you just type m. It should be able to display the map. So these two should be exactly the same, right? And this is how you create the interactive map. But you will see here by default, it doesn't look really very nice. So you need to zoom in, zoom out a lot in order to see the map. So the next one here I'm going to show you is how to customize the default settings. And as you can see, when you create a map, you can actually change the center. So if you go to the documentation, and then on the left side here, if you click on map, and you can follow the example in here, right? So the most common one is that you sometimes might want to change the base map. You also want to change the center location, also the zoom level. So the zoom level, it starts from 1 all the way, I think, to 21 or 22 or something. And so the larger the number, the more zoom in. The smaller the number, it's more zoom out. So like more kind of overview. And what you want to see is what kind of attribute you can customize. So this is something you can customize when you create a map, and it's also a long list. I'm going to show you some of the common one that you want to customize so that your map can look out of the box without having to zoom in or zoom out. So what we want to do here, we want to create a new map. And so for this one here, we're just going to import a couple of classes, right? Otherwise, every time you just use this ipyleaflet, when you want to use something, you need to ipyleaflet dot something. So your code might get like very long. So what we want to do is that, okay, within this library, we're going to import map and this few controls, because we're going to use this later. This will make your code shorter. Otherwise, you need to have, for example, ipyleaflet.map, right? So just like what we used earlier in here. If you use from package import class, then you can directly use the map without having to use ipyleaflet dot something in here. For example, ipyleaflet dot, right? And also, if you want to use full control, layer control, you also need to like ipyleaflet dot something dot something. You will make your code get very long, so we don't want to do it. That's why we want to import, and then these are a few things you want to customize. Okay, so the center is basically the latitude and longitude, the zoom level, and also the scroll wheel zoom equal to 2. That one is a nice one, because if you see from the map we created earlier, right? If I use my the scroll on my mouse, it doesn't work, right? When you zoom, you scroll, it's basically up and down. It doesn't change the map actually. So you need to click the zoom in and zoom out actually to change the map. So what we want to do is to turn on this one so that we create a map. Okay, now you see much better. So by default, it's zooming to the location, latitude and longitude. So this is basically the center within the US, and the zoom level is 4. Also, we can turn on the zoom in and zoom out. So right now, I don't have to click the zoom in and zoom out, but you can still zoom in, and you can move, right? If you drag your mouse, you can move the map a little bit, and you can continue to zoom in if you want. Okay, so this is how you can customize. Also, you will see here layout.height. Okay, so this one we change the default height to 600 pixel. If you compare to this one earlier, it's much shorter, right? So this one gets a little bit longer. The width gets a bit longer. You cannot specify the height, for example, like in here when you create a map, like height equal to like 600 pixels, it won't work. Okay, so because this one, the ipyleaflet, is also built on top of the ipywidgets. Okay, we will get into the ipywidgets later, but for now you can just simply think about this one. There's a so-called layout.property, so m.layout.height and then equal to 600 pixel. You can change this one if you want. So I can, for example, change to 400. If you run this one again, it gets shorter, right? I can change to maybe 700. It gets way longer. Okay, so I think 600 is a good setting. So I'm just going to use 600 here for all the remaining code. So you can zoom in, you can zoom out. Okay, so this is how you create a map by default, changing the center location, the zoom level, and also enable the scroll wheel zoom. So, and if you want to customize more, you can also come here. You can take a look at some of these. These are all the things you can change when you create a map. Next, I'm going to show you how to add some controls, right? So right now, by default, you only have this zoom in and zoom out control, but we might want to add a few more. So different from the other interactive mapping library, for example, Folium, once you create a map, you cannot modify, right? But the nice thing about ipyleaflet is that it's interactive. So all the widgets, anything you modify, it can be reflected from here, right? So you can also show the map multiple locations, but the changes will be synchronized to all the maps you created. So as long as you use the same variable name. So right now we create a map called M, and then we display. So next we're going to use the show the add some widget controls. The first one we're going to add is called full screen control, and we already import this one in here, so we don't need to use ipyleaflet full control. You can go to the documentation website in here. On the left side shows you the control, what kind of control you can add to the map, and also some of the layers, right? These are all the layers. ipyleaflet basically have two things you can add. You can add a layer, you can add a control. So first we're going to just add a control, and then we talk about how to add some layers. Okay, let's come back to here. So the first one is the full screen control, and you will see here pretty simple, right? So this is the name of the class. Basically we create an object control, and then we add the control to the map. So the function is called add control. And what we need to do, shift control, and then now you can see this one here, right, on the upper left corner. By default, if you don't specify the position, it's going to be the top left corner. So this is the top left, and whatever else you add to the map, if you don't specify, it's going to go on the top left corner. So you will stack one by one in here, and you can click right now on this one to see the full screen control. Compared to the default map, right, you only have the zoom in and zoom out. You don't have full screen control. Next one, layers control. So the layers control, you can, this one is pretty a must-have on your map, because most likely you're going to add a bunch of layers onto the map, and it would be nice to to be able to turn the layers on and off, just like this one here, right? So we're gonna go back to here, and so this time we're gonna specify the position. So the position we're gonna put top right. On the map, there are four positions you can specify: top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. So these are the four corners you can put the control. And for the layer control, we're going to use to the top right corner. Okay, once execute, now you see this one here, upper right corner. Okay, because we haven't added any layers here yet, you only have the default base map. This one you cannot turn off. Okay, but later when we add more layers, you will see here to toggle the layers on and off. Okay, so that's about the layers control. Next one, draw control, because sometimes we might want to draw some shapes on the map. And so the draw control, again, if you don't specify, it's going to add to the top left corner. So we're going to go to execute, and now you have this one. So you have line, you have polygon, you have a circle, but we can also have point and rectangle. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to add more controls. This is just the by default one you can use. You can also go to the documentation to take a look at here, the draw control. This one shows you more controls. For example, a rectangle, also a point, right? So you can just copy and paste this code. You should be able to do that. But for this simplification demo, I'm just going to use the default draw control. And so if you see from here, you can click and double click to draw a polygon, and after that you can also modify. So I can click the edit layer, and from here I can drag this. I can drag all the points, and then after that you just hit save. You will be able to save this shape. You can also delete. So if I click this one here and then come to the map, and if you click and hit save, you should be able to save the polygon. So I can add a few more. And I can also add a point. For example, I can also add the line. Double click. If you want to edit, you can edit, right? You can also just drag this one, if you want. Hit save. You can also delete all the layers, right? If you click this button and then clear all, it's going to clear all the shapes. Okay, so that's about draw control. Next one, measure control. So measure, that means sometimes we want to measure the distance on the map. So again, just execute, and this is the one, right? Measure distance. Then you can click, and then you can just click on the map. It will show you the distance and also the area. And just double click, it's close, right? So you can see the past distance. You can also show you the points of these when your mouse click on the map. Just finish a measurement, and you can enter on the map. You can also delete, right, if you don't need it. So this is about the measurement control. The last one we're going to add is the scale control, just to show you the scale bar on the map, right? So in that case, we can know how long each object represent the real distance in the real world. So again, just hit one, and this is the one you see here. So when you zoom in and zoom out, it's going to change the distance interactively. So if you zoom in, it's going to be changed to smaller number. If you zoom out, it gets longer. So this is the distance, right? So this distance represent 1,000 100 kilometer, right? If we continue to zoom in, 1 meter, 1 kilometer, 1,000 kilometer, right? 100. So these are pretty much all the basic control you can add, and they are quite useful because when you have the map, if you just simply have a zoom in and zoom out, might not be sufficient. So these are some of the basic control you can add to the map. There are a few more. You can come back to here, and then you can see this one. For example, you can also create a split control. You can also have a laser control, source control. You can also have this one, widget control. So this one is basically you can customize to add any widget. So it's very, very powerful. Just like something in here, you can change, you can add this, you can add that, and this is why it makes the package so powerful, because you can add all kind of interactive user widgets to the map. I'm gonna show you later in this course how to do that, but for now, let's just keep it as it is. Okay, so once we have the widget control, next what we want to do is to add some maps, right? So by default it adds the OpenStreetMap, but if you want to add other base map, you can do that. So come here, and we're going to use two base maps. The first one is the built-in base map, comes with ipyleaflet. So all you need to do is just to select which one you want to add. But I also going to show you how to add some custom base maps. So let's first import the library and also import the classes. In this example, I'm going to use the base map class and also the tile layer. So the base map, basically the built-in one, you can just choose what you want to add. The tile layer is you need to provide some parameters. So let's just execute, and then what you need is just add layer, right? So the add layer, for example, let me show you this one here. So m dot, and then just hit tab on your keyboard to bring up this one, and then add, select layer, parentheses, right? So once you select the parentheses within there, you can add the base map. So what you need to do is to the base maps dot, again hit tab, and then from here you should be able to, for example, you can scroll to see what kind of available options. And we're going to add this one, for example, open topo map. Hit enter, and then just hit alt enter to execute. You can scroll up here to see the map, right? So right now we already have the open topo map, right? So you can turn this one on and off. You can also, for example, in here you can type M again, and then a shift enter. It should also show the map here, another copy. But keep that in mind, these maps can also be synchronized, right? So now if you see here, it's showing the US, right? Oh, because we turn this one off. So if I move this one to another location, take a look at this one, right? It's all synchronized. So all the map is basically using, is all the same. Any changes you make on one map, it's going to reflect it on the other one. So you see here, right? It's being synchronized. So this is how you can add a base map, the built-in base map from ipyleaflet. We can also add others, so there are a lot more options. You can use the Esri wall imagery. Again, shift enter, and you will see here, right, upper right corner, turn the layer on and off. So this is how you can add different layers. Next one, I'm going to show you how you can add customize. So ipyleaflet does not come with Google Maps, so we can create one by ourselves as long as you know how to add a tile layer. So again, there are two layers, type of layers you can add, tile layer and also WMS layer. So those are two common web services you can add from the internet. There are lots of web XYZ and also WMS services. And for the Google one, it's a tile layer. So what you need to do is, the most important one is to provide the URL. So in the format like this one. And you can also set, for example, the attribution. So the attribution is the one showing here on the map. If you zoom in and zoom out, right? So if you see this one here, this is the so-called attribution. Sometimes if it gets too crowded, you can turn this one off if you want. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how to add this one. What you need to do is to create a tile layer. So tile layer is a class, and within that class you can specify the URL. You can also attribution and also the name. So the name is also very important, because if you want to turn the layer on and off, it will show up in here just like this too. So that's why we want to use this. And once we create the tile layer, again, you can just add the tile layer to the maps, right? So as you can see, very simple and easy to do. Now we have the Google map, and then you can turn this one on and off if you want, right? So you can also use the default OpenStreetMap, but if you if you prefer Google Map, then you can add this way. Similarly, you can also add a Google satellite, right? So look at this URL here, pretty much very similar, but there's some slight difference, right? So VT and LYS, this is so-called M, Google Map, and this one Y is basically a hybrid. It has the satellite, but also has the label. So again, shift control, and then shift control. You should be able to see this one. You can zoom in. You should be able to see this is the Google Map, right? You can zoom in, you can zoom out, and you can turn the layer on and off. So this is how easy it is. You can add layers, but still you need to write some source code. So later in this course, I'm going to show you how to actually customize. So you just need one line of code. When you create a map, you can automatically add the Google map if you want. So that in that case, you don't have to write this many lines of code. And this is how we can build up the package to make basically customize whatever you want, and then so the user don't have to write many lines of code in order to do the same thing. Okay, so this is how you add different layers, and again, it might become sometimes might become too crowded. So if you want to turn the attribute control off, you can do that. Keep that in mind. The attribution control depends on the layer on and off, right? So right now this is the default OpenStreetMap. If I open more, you see the attribution control is getting longer. Right? If I add this one, add this one, add this one, it gets longer and longer. So if you want to turn the attribution control off, sometimes because it's too crowded, you can just m.attribution control equal to false, and then shift enter. So once you set this one to false, you will see it's gone. You can turn it on, right? True, shift enter. You will see this one. So this is how you can customize the map. Okay, so next one, I'm going to show you how to add markers, right? So on the map, sometimes it would be nice to have some points or polygon. You can draw this one using the draw control, but if you want to be more precise, then you can use marker. So again, go to documentation, and then on the left side here, layers. Take a look at markers. Where are markers? So here, right? Markers basically is location, right? You can have the location, the center. You can also see set some parameters like draggable, right? If you want to be draggable, you can. This one is false, so you cannot really drag the points. And these are the parameters you can pass in. You need the location, latitude and longitude, and also, for example, opacity, visible. You can also use some icons, right? But in this video, I'm just going to use the default one. So the most important thing is the location, where you want to put the marker. So the latitude and longitude. You can also add a name. The name is going to show up under the layers control, so they can turn the markers on and off. Again, we need to import the library, and this is the marker class. Once you have the marker, then you within the parenthesis set the location and the name. The order of the parameters doesn't matter, so we can put locations first and then comma, name. Either one is fine. Once you have the marker, right? So each individual marker, then you need to add to the map. So add layer, marker 1, marker 2, and then you can show the map. I'm just going to execute and then show you here. Where is it? This is weird. Doesn't come up. Let me rerun this. Sometimes it's a bit buggy, so I'm just going to run all above. If it comes back, okay. So now it's here. We have 3 points in here, right? So this the 3 points that we just added, and by default it's draggable. So if you click, you can actually drag the points, and the points, the location actually. Once you drag the point, the location of the point actually are also being changed. If you want to figure out, I can add another cell, and I'm going to show you in here, right? So marker 1, originally it's 40 and latitude 40 and negative 100 longitude. And if you right now copy this one, and then here marker 1 dot location, and then just alt enter, you will see here it has been changed to 42 and negative 114, right? So if you change it's mark it's probably this one, right? So if I move again, and if I do that again, it's probably going to change again, right? So 35, something like that. You can also change the location program here, right? So if I hit shift enter, and then I can change the number. So for example, I can change to maybe 45 and then comma negative 120. So and then shift enter, look at the map in here, see if the location is being changed, right? So you can basically you can change the location by providing the number. You can also change the location by moving this one to anywhere, right? So this is how like flexible. There are a lot of things you can customize, and this is simply showing you how to add some basic layer at the marker. You can add polygon, you can also add GeoJSON or other files. We talk about that in the future video. Okay, so markers. Next one, also the last one is marker cluster. So if you see from the map in here, you have 3 points. Sometimes if you have a lot more points, you might want to cluster. Basically, you don't want the map to become too crowded because of these points. So nicely, ipyleaflet has a marker cluster, and you just need to put all the markers within marker cluster, and you should be able to automatically collapse the points when you create the new maps. Okay, so all you need to do, just hit Shift Enter and Shift Enter. So if we come back to here, let's turn off the, let me just run all again. Sometimes it's a bit buggy. Okay, so let me turn off the previous one, marker 1, 2, 3, right? So now these are the 3 points that we created. Again, these 3 points, and each one is a marker. So all we need to do is just put them, put it into a marker cluster. So marker clusters has 2 parameters. So the first one here is marker, and within here is a tuple. So again, you can come back to here to see the this one, right? Markers. So this is the only parameters that you can provide, a tuple of markers. You can also provide a name, right? So the name is what we want to see here. You can turn this one on and off. And if you zoom out, right, it's going to collapse and collapse. This is nice, especially if you have 1,000 of points on the map. You probably want to do this one. Otherwise, all the cluster, the markers will become too crowded when you zoom out, right? So this is just some simple example showing you how to add some data to the map, and you can add markers, clusters, you can add polyline. There are a lot more things you can add. So all the entire list in here shows you what kind of layer you can add to the map. So we will get into some of these later in this course, but for now I'm just going to show you these 3 in this video. Show you the tile layer, marker, and also the marker cluster. So those are the 3 ones that we just went through, and hopefully you find this one useful, and now you know how to create an interactive map. In the next video, I'm showing how to customize so that you don't have to repeat the same process to write this many lines of code, and all need to just one line. And this is how we're going to build on top of ipyleaflet to create a package that you can also create interactive map, but with a lot less lines of code, because when we want to reuse the code for some purposes. Okay, so that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.